Hi, this is Curtis with Autel Consultancy. How can I assist you today?
Hi Curtis, how are you? I saw your video online and I have a big issue. I don't know if you can help me. If we have to pay for a service. I bought a car, that 2008 Colorado, and it has a low quality diesel exhaust fluid warning sign on the DIC. And I bought the Autel MS906 BT tool.
Okay.
That I sent over there because the car is right in Africa. They don't have a GM dealer there, nothing, so they can't drive the car. It's telling me that the tool doesn't support resetting or finding the bad sensor or whatever. So trying to see if you can help us resolve this issue, please.
You know what, guys? Let me show you how it's done. I'm going to share with you how I helped a client in the middle of Africa remove the speed limiting diesel exhaust fluid error code. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kurt the Consultant, and today I'll be your presenter. What you will learn by today is a little bit more about DEF and why we hate it so much. I'm going to show you how to reset NOx sensors and troubleshoot the DEF poor quality error. And also, you're going to see the importance of using repair information. Now, a lot of clients who work from home, try to get free information, and that can waste a lot of time. And you'll see how this is going to benefit my client in this situation. And then lastly, how to order. And then the other thing I'm going to share with you, worst case scenario, if you run out of DEF, I'm going to show you a quick hack that you can actually remove that speed limiting limitation so you can get to A to Z. All right, just a temporary fix, but stay tuned. I'll show you how it's done. So we're going to start with this case study. We are working with the MS906 BT. This client works from home, just a regular Joe, working on his own tool or his own vehicle. And his problem, the DEF indicator is on the dash. And his speed has been reduced dramatically. Like, he's talking about, going slow as snails and peanut butter, like really slow. So the cousin lives in New York. Actually, he called me. His cousin is in Africa, all right, West Africa. I know I said the middle of Africa, but West Africa doesn't have that same appeal. It was just clickbait, guys. But anyways, so he shipped the car to Africa, and when it got there, this DEF light was going on. So he gave him 2 NOx sensors and the 906 BT. The gentleman in Africa took it to the mechanics. The mechanic couldn't find the features to reset the NOx sensors, and they couldn't find any functions to reset the DEF light. So my job as a consultant was to first validate if those features were on there, and then configure the NOx sensors and help remove the DEF light. All right. So a little bit about DEF, guys. Basically, in a nutshell, it's used to help emissions by injecting DEF into the exhaust systems of the certain diesel engine. It's good for the planet, in other words. The other thing you need to know is always wear gloves when you're handling this stuff, and don't use existing funnels. You need to use one dedicated for pouring this stuff, because those particles will compromise the DEF and damage the system. Okay, only use GM approved DEF. There's a certification that you'll find on non-brands, and then the thing you need to look out for is the expiration date. So if you buy from like Walmart or any other automotive store, ask them when did this lot get here. And there's a way to decode it, but what I've seen was the dealers who sell the DEF, they typically have the date on there. It's like clear as day. Other manufacturers, they use like a code, and there's a certain way to decode it to determine when it was manufactured, but it's really complicated. I don't want to get into that, but always find out how fresh it is. That's very important, and you'll see why. So this is what happens if you don't address this DEF fluid quality pour error. Your car is going to go into different warning levels, and it's going to slow you down until you rectify the matter. And each time you go to a different level, it almost gets to a point where your car is not going to even move, and that could be horrible for some people, especially if you're in the middle of Africa, you know. So what I realized was, doing some research, when this error comes up, obviously it could be that, you know, the DEF has been compromised, but it could also mean the hardware related to it reflects poor quality. All right, so keep that in mind. The first thing I did was I just questioned the client, you know, the shelf life, how long he had it and stuff, and the red dots indicate the temperature of the DEF. Now, the recommended temperature is 60 degrees, and if you have it at that temperature for about, you know, you can get it about 36 months of good quality DEF. If it's at 80 degree temperature, you get 12 months. 100 degrees, you get 2 months. All right. In this case, the client only had it for a couple weeks, so I don't think that was the issue. But this is what it looks like if it's been compromised. All right. And there's tools to test the DEF. There's something called, I think it's called a refractometer or retractometer, something like that. But there's ways to test the DEF. But in my client's case, we concluded that the DEF wasn't the issue. All right. So that's when I had him take out the scan tool. I remotely connected it, and I'm gonna go in for the initial diagnosis. So, you know, I'm going through this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's see what I can find. Ain't nothing on here, nothing. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. All right, you know what? Let me code these NOx sensors. So the way you do that, guys, is really simple. The function route is you go to Engine Control Module, Special Functions, and look for a NOx Sensor 1 reset. And just for you guys to know, as a service, I can find these out really quickly, like the function route, so my clients will always know where to go. Now you can see here, it gives us a lot of information, how much fluid is in there, if it's frozen, and so forth. And you're going to see later all this information is actually how I resolved the problem. But to reset this is very simple. You're just going to click the reset button, all right, at the bottom. And what happens is when you click it, if you look at the top here, right now it says uncommanded. I just clicked it, it says in progress, and then it's going to say reset. All right, then you're done. It's not rocket science. And you're going to repeat the process to the second NOx sensor. So the next step is try to attempt to reset the DEF. So this is how I did it. I went to reductant fluid tank level reset and did the same thing. It's very simple. Just going to fast forward it. All right, it almost gave us the same information. You click reset, in progress, and then you'll see that it's done, reset. And you're going to repeat the same process onto your reductant system data, reset. All right, boom, that's done. Now, I asked the client, did that resolve the problem? And he said it went off for a minute and then it came back on. So it's back to the drawing board. So I sent the data logging, and what I do is I actually record all my sessions. So as I was looking through the live data, I noticed that there was a bunch of indication from the reductant injector control that it was malfunctioning. So I was like, all right, let me pull out the repair information. And what I discovered was, if the NOx catalyst reductant load adaptive values reaches 1.45, it will turn on the exhaust fluid quality pour. And I remember I saw a value around that, which you can see here. And the other section said if the adaptive value is below 0.4, above 1.7, then you'll get the error code. So I said, okay, that's why I didn't get any error codes, but that's why I got this fluid quality pour message. So then I was thinking, you know what? I've seen people pour this stuff and it actually crystallizes. So I think that what probably could happen is this reductant injector could possibly have some of that residue on there. All right, and its sole job is to inject the emissions fluid into the exhaust emissions stream. You know, so when you're dealing with that fluid, as I said, when it gets into oxygen, it crystallizes, and this is what it looks like. So at this point, what I did was I made a presentation to the client, showed him where it's located, and he took that presentation and sent it to, and actually translated it and put it in French for his cousin to take it to the mechanic and get it fixed. All right, and yeah, one day I was working, and out the blue, I got this call. Play it for you guys. Turn up the volume a little bit.
So they watched the video and they found the part and they took it off and everything was fine? And the light's off right now, or do I still need to reset it? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. Yeah. Okay, well, oh, my pleasure, man. It was really my pleasure.
So that's it, guys. Mission complete. I felt really good about this one because, you know, going with that speed, you're going to be late for work every single day. And he just got a brand new car, so, you know, but here's a tip I want to tell you guys. So let's just say that your DF is all the way down and you can't go anymore, all right? The quick hack that you can do, you see this? This is a vehicle speed sensor. If you just remove it, okay, it actually will, you have to change the gears manually, but you'll be able to get from A to Z and you won't have that speed limiting restriction, okay? It's on the transfer case. So if you just Google the transfer case, you'll see that on there, and then you'll be able to just remove it. And then if you, this is something you can do on worst case scenario, okay? It's a quick tip, all right? So with that, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. If you liked this presentation, go ahead, subscribe, like the channel, and if you're ready to order, always get consulted, because diagnosing you, asking you certain questions, you may find out that this tool is not right for you. There might be other tools that you're not aware of that I do know about, and I can present them to you. And then, you know, after you receive your machine, I'll be able to consult you, get you installed properly, and most of all, you will get results with the tool. You won't be wasting the tool and all, you know, not using all of its features and stuff like that. So give me a call, guys, 844-210-9020. And with that, guys, I will see you in the next show. Take care. Bye.